I'm going to be going over 4 or 5 major tips that have helped me tremendously to simplify my life, to bring and remove a lot of chaos, to bring a lot of peace into my life. And because things are crazy, right? Like, especially if you're like my demographic, like a young parent of multiple kids, you got a job, you got a spouse, you got life responsibility, you got all kinds of responsibilities, and it can be a lot, frankly, you know? And so these are some of the things that have helped me to manage and to sort of simplify everything and relieve a lot of sort of stress and anxiety and help me manage everything better. Okay, so the first one, and I have some notes down here just in case I look down. First one is kind of a mindset shift one, right? Which is you give your life to that which you give your time. So just understand that as we go into this, and it's going to be important as we go into the other tips. But the things that you prioritize, the things that you give the most of your time to, that's what you're giving your life to, your life force, your life as in time, your life as in energy, however you want to think about it. Whatever you give most of your time to, and a lot of times, frankly, and I'm with you on here, it can seem like that's work. Work can take a lot of your life, but we want to make as much time and energy for the things that we care about the most, which is our families, which is our kids, which is improving ourself, right? Things like that. So that's number one. Number two is decluttering things, right? We live in a society where they want us to buy, consumer society. And there's always something else to get. There's always something else to buy, right? And so if we can declutter these things. So I read one book that I would recommend for this is Marie Kondo, by Marie Kondo. I forget what it's actually called, but she's the author. She has a really good method for decluttering things, getting rid of stuff. If you have like sentimental value, you tend to hold on to things a lot. Like there are some techniques out there to help you cope with this, right? And so we don't want chaos inside of our home, right? Life is chaotic enough. The things that happen to us are chaotic enough. We want peace in our home. We want a stress-free environment, and having too many things all over the place and clutter and a filled up, completely overflowing garage and storage areas in our homes can make things more stressful, much more stressful than they need to be. So decluttering things. Number 3 is called reset the room. Now this I have found has helped me a lot, and my family a lot, and my kids even a lot with cleaning, right? Like if we want to keep a clean home, this concept, reset the room, has helped me a lot, which is essentially if you use a room, if you use the kitchen, if you're getting some toys out for kids, if you're, I don't know, you get like some blankets out or whatever you're doing in there, when you leave or when you're done in there, put it all back before you leave. Reset the room. So instead of every single room in the entire house being an absolute and complete mess at all times, do your best, and nobody's perfect. I get it. Like my house is not perfect. Don't get me wrong. Like it's not like it's clean all the freaking time. Okay, I want to be clear on that. But this idea and this concept of resetting the room helps. So that when you go to leave, like let's say you got the kitchen, you did dinner, and you want to go like, I don't know, chillax and watch some TV for the night, reset the kitchen before you go watch some TV. That way you're not going to bed and the kitchen is a mess, and then you wake up in the morning and everything is chaos. All right, so it's a very simple concept of resetting the room, and it helps. Number 4, declutter. Ooh, this is a big one. Declutter your activities. So I think that a big problem for a lot of people is saying yes to things that you don't want to do, to hanging out with people that you don't want to hang out with. And remember, we give our life to that which we give our time. So if somebody asks you to go do something, or they ask you to do them a favor or to help them out, and you really don't want to, or you really don't have time to, it's okay. It's okay to say no. I remember like a couple months ago, I think now at this point, somebody kept asking me if I wanted to go shooting with him and some other guys. And I was like, look, I like shooting. I do, but no, I don't want to. Because I just don't have time that I want to allocate to that. I have other things, I have other priorities that are far, far more important to me than hanging out with people that I don't really want to hang out with. Like, I'm not antisocial. I like hanging out with my friends. I like hanging out with my buddies, right? But if I don't really want to hang out with you, like, I'm not going to. I feel zero obligation to go to some barbecue. I feel zero obligation to go to some party, to go to some get together. Like, I don't, because I have my own priorities. And sometimes, yeah, I'll go. But if I don't want to, if I'm busy, if I have something to do, I have no problem politely saying no. Because I just don't want to, right? And so decluttering your activities, not doing a bunch of favors for people, being able to say no to things can be huge if you are a people pleaser, if you are a very agreeable person and you're maybe overly agreeable or you're a nice guy. This will be huge for you because a lot of people, you would have time for the things that you are your priorities if you actually prioritize them, which is kind of the fifth sort of bonus thing, which is we always have time for what we prioritize, right? Whatever our priorities are, we find time for it, okay? And I want you to leave with that phrase in mind. If you think that you don't have time for things, you do. You're just not prioritizing it. Now, let me make this very clear. Sometimes we might have to prioritize things over sleep or over hanging out with like our family or going to social events. We might have to prioritize work. We might have to prioritize going to the gym and sacrificing some sleep, right? We get up earlier, we go to bed later, whatever it is. Okay? But we always have time for what we prioritize. Okay? So if you're prioritizing watching Netflix at night instead of sleeping and you complain that you don't get enough sleep, right? You understand the concept. You get it. I think you get it. So those are kind of the four things. Quick recap, which is you give your life to that which you give your time, decluttering the things, resetting the room, declutter your activities, and we always have time for what we prioritize. And I will catch you guys on the next video.